Hello, and welcome to today's Guardian training video. This video will cover agency and applicant-initiated applications for fee-paying TrustLine agencies. The following topics will be covered in this training video. Agency-initiated applications, which will cover the following subtopics: adding a new applicant, entering pre-association information, verifying an applicant's identity, agency payment, data review, uploading the applicant's self-disclosure via the application administration function, and associating the applicant to your fee-paying agency. The next topic we will cover is applicant-initiated applications. There are three routes in which an initial applicant may be associated to the TrustLine registry. The first being by an agency initiating the application in their portal. The second being by the agency providing an applicant with an applicant instruction form. These forms are generated in Guardian, and the applicant will apply in their respective portal. And the third being via the paper process. A paper application may be given to the applicant for completion, live scan services, and sent to CDSS for data entry. The first part of this video will demonstrate how an agency initiates an application for an initial TrustLine applicant. When an agency initiates the application on behalf of an applicant, the agency will also be responsible for paying the associated registry fee. The second part of this video will cover applicant-initiated applications. Applicants may obtain the applicant instruction form from an agency, which will contain a unique PIN number for the agency. The PIN number will determine if the agency or the applicant will pay the associated TrustLine registry fee. Each topic discussed in today's video will correlate with a section in the TrustLine for Fee-Paying Agencies user guide with step-by-step instructions to assist with navigation through Guardian. First, we will discuss agency-initiated applications. Prior to an agency applying on behalf of an applicant, ensure the applicant has completed and signed the TrustLine paper application. Review the application and ensure it is complete and includes an email address. An email address is required for the applicant to obtain their pre-populated LiveScan form via email, register, and access their Guardian account. If an applicant does not possess an email address, please forward their paper application to CDSS staff for data entry. All steps we will cover in this section must be completed to successfully submit an application on behalf of an applicant. Before we begin, keep in mind, this process is for initial or brand new TrustLine applicants. To begin an application, from the home page, hover over Applications and select Add New. The first step to submitting a new application is to enter one search element for each row for your applicant. At this point of the process, your applicant should have completed and signed a copy of the TrustLine application. The paper application will assist in inputting their information and completing the application process. You may utilize the information on the application for the following screens. Enter either the individual's Social Security number, identity document, or personal identification number, which are created by CDSS, and either their last name or their date of birth. Once complete, select Search. Please ensure to enter search criteria carefully to avoid creating duplicate applicant profiles. Guardian will display any applicable results. If Guardian locates the applicant in the database and routes you to an applicant's person summary page, please refer to the video tutorial for in-network and out-of-network connections. If the individual was not found in Guardian, you may select Add New Applicant. By selecting Add New Applicant, you are essentially adding a new person into our database. Once you select Add New Applicant, the Personal and Demographic Information page will populate. Enter the applicant's personal and demographic information. This step of the process is building the applicant's profile. You will notice all required fields are marked with the red asterisk. Again, the applicant's email address is a required field. If the applicant's mailing address differs from the permanent address entered, unselect this checkbox. You may then enter a new or separate mailing address. To add an alias or prior name, select Add Alias in the Prior Names and Aliases section of the profile. If this does not apply to your applicant, you may select the Individual reports that they have not been known by any other names box. Aliases or prior names are any additional names an individual may use or has used in the past. This might include an applicant's maiden name, a nickname, or a formal name. An alias can also include another Social Security number or date of birth that an applicant may be currently using or may have used in the past. Add all applicable information and click Save once complete. Any added aliases will appear towards the bottom of the page. If the applicant has lived in a different state within the last 5 years, you may enter basic information regarding the applicant's prior address. To add a prior address, click Add Prior Address in the Prior Addresses section of the profile. If this does not apply to your applicant, you may select the individual reports that they have not lived out of state during the specified time frame. Enter the applicable information for the applicant, then click Save. You may add as many previous addresses as needed. Select Next once complete. Now, we will be covering entering pre-association information for an applicant. This step of the process allows you to enter specific information regarding what the applicant is applying for. For an initial TrustLine applicant, we must first associate them to the TrustLine registry itself. After we complete this process, I will demonstrate how to then associate the applicant to your agency. For the agency dropdown, only agencies assigned to your Guardian user account will populate. If you only have one agency assigned to your Guardian user account, this field will auto-populate, such as it did here. For the Request Types dropdown, you will notice there are two options. TrustLine Initial Registry Ancillary is the request type to select for someone who is completely brand new to TrustLine. TrustLine Ancillary is the option you will choose for someone who is already on TrustLine and they are now becoming associated to a fee-paying agency. Again, we are walking an applicant through the initial process, so we must first associate them to the TrustLine registry. The program and position category fields will auto-populate, and the position dropdown will reflect TrustLine registry. The position dropdowns are determined based on the request type you select. Select Next once complete. Next, we are brought to the Applicant Verify Identity page. Here you will enter the TrustLine approved identity documentation. You will notice all required fields on this page are marked with a red asterisk. Select an identity document from the document dropdown. We have included some helpful reminder text of TrustLine approved identification documents for your convenience. The issuing state or authority is the state or government agency that issued the identification. For this instance, because I selected California driver's license, the issuing state would be California. Next, you can enter the document number. Again, for this example, I will enter the California driver's license for this applicant. The expiration date is an optional field, as well as uploading a copy of the identity document. You will notice the withdraw and save and close features at the bottom of the page. If you select withdraw, you permanently close the application. A confirmation page will appear prior to completing this action. The Save and Close feature allows you to save the application and continue it at a later time. You may access saved applications by accessing Applications, then Not Yet Submitted on the navigation bar. You will be able to then locate the application and select Resume. Select Next once complete. Next, you will be brought to the Research Registries page. The function of the Research Registries page is to confirm the appropriate request type was selected during the pre-association portion of the application. The search results should appear with one of the following: Not matched, which indicates the correct request type was selected and the agency may continue in the application process. No further action is needed on this page if the research registry results in a not matched response. If the research registry results in a matched response, this indicates the incorrect request type was selected and the agency must go back and correct the error prior to continuing the application. Match simply indicates the individual already exists in the database and you are essentially attempting to create an application which already exists. An error message should appear towards the bottom of the page and the agency should not be able to continue in the application process. If you receive a not matched response, you may continue by selecting Next. You will then be brought to the payment page. As mentioned earlier in the video, when initiating an application on behalf of an applicant, you as the agency are agreeing to pay the registry fee. If you do not want to pay the registry fee on behalf of the applicant, you may provide the applicant with an applicant instruction form, which we will get into shortly, for an applicant to initiate an application on their own through their portal and pay the registry payment. If you select Credit, the browser will redirect you to a payment page. You will return to the application once the payment is complete. You also have the option to make a batch payment. By selecting Batch Payment, you will defer the payment to be paid at a later time. This feature will allow you to pay multiple registry fees at one time. Pending payments may be located and paid by accessing pending payments from the at-a-glance table. You may also hover over Applications and access pending payments from the navigation bar. For today's purpose, I will demonstrate utilizing batch payment. Once batch payment is selected, you will have the confirmation page appear. Select Confirm to continue. You will notice the date paid has a pending response. Again, to access pending payments, you may locate Applications, then Pending Payments from the navigation bar. Select Next to continue. You will then be routed to the Data Review page. This step of the process is to review all information input and confirm all of the applicant's data is correct. If the profile information is correct, select Submit. Upon submitting the applicant's application, the system will present an application submitted confirmation page and provide the deadline the applicant has to submit fingerprints. The LiveScan form will not generate on the confirmation page if the registry payment has not been made. If the registry payment was made during the process, the LiveScan form will generate for the agency to print and provide to the applicant or save an email. The applicant will also receive an email from Guardian with a link to register for an applicant account where they can also access their LiveScan form to print and take to a LiveScan operator. After submitting the application, it is important to note the application number displayed on the top of the page. You will need the application number to upload a copy of the applicant's TrustLine application. To upload a copy of the applicant's application, access Applications, then Application Administration from the navigation bar. The Application Administration page will populate. You will then be prompted to enter the application ID. The application ID is the application number provided on the confirmation page. Enter the application number and select Search. The applicant's name and date of birth should populate at the top of the page. It is important to ensure you are uploading the correct application for the correct applicant. Review the application administration page. To upload the document, select Upload Document. The Upload Application Document box will populate. The purpose of uploading a TrustLine application into Guardian is to answer the required disclosure questions on behalf of the applicant. The uploaded copy serves as proof the applicant answered the questions. To search your device for a document, select the text box under File Name. Locate the document. You may then name the document by selecting the text box under Document Name. Select Upload once complete. You may notice the Submit button will not allow you to continue. You must now select the applicant disclosure link, which will route you to a new page to complete the disclosure on behalf of the applicant. You will then be required to re-enter the application number, the applicant's last name, and date of birth. Once complete, select Start Disclosure. You will then be prompted to answer a series of questions, which should mirror the disclosure questions on the application. Answer all questions appropriately based on your applicant's responses and select Next. Once complete, select Submit, and you will receive the Disclosure Complete page. Once the disclosure has been complete, you may return back to the Guardian portal. You may now select Submit. Now, keep in mind, we have completed the initial application process for the TrustLine registry. We must now go back and add the agency and payment program for the applicant. First, we will search for the applicant. As mentioned in the Utilizing the Person Search function video, a search can be conducted by utilizing the applicant's identifying information or by an application number. You may also locate an applicant or application number by accessing Rosters, selecting your agency. Your agency will auto-populate if you only have one agency assigned to your user account. By selecting Search, the list of applicants associated to your agency will populate. Locate the applicant, and you will notice the application number is listed, as well as their last name is hyperlinked. By selecting the applicant's last name, you will be brought to the person summary page. When viewing the Applications tab, select the expandable arrow to view the applications. You will notice this applicant is just associated to the TrustLine registry, and we must now associate them to our agency. Select Add New Application in the top right corner. You will then be brought to the Personal and Demographic Information page. Make any necessary edits to this page and select Next once complete. You will then be brought to the Pre-Association Information page. The request type you will select this time is TrustLine Ancillary, as we have already associated this person to the TrustLine registry. Program and position category will auto-populate. Select Ancillary from the Position dropdown. Select Next once complete. You will again be required to enter all of the TrustLine approved identity document information. The expiration date and upload document fields are optional. Select Next once complete. You will again be brought to the Research Registries page. Again, this page is intended to confirm the correct request type was selected. The Not Matched response indicates the correct request type was selected, and you may select Next to continue. You will then be brought to the Payment page. You will notice no payment is required for this application, as your agency has already paid the registry payment or has a pending payment for this applicant. Select Next to continue. You will again be brought to the Data Review page where you can review all information, make any necessary edits, and select Submit once complete. And you have successfully completed an agency-initiated application for an initial TrustLine applicant. Keep in mind, all steps shown up to this point must be completed to successfully complete this application process. Now we will discuss applicant-initiated applications. As previously mentioned, there are a few ways an applicant can be associated to the TrustLine registry and your agency. If you do not want to initiate the application on behalf of the applicant and pay the registry fee, you may provide the applicant with an applicant instruction form. The applicant instruction form provides instructions for the applicant to register and create a Guardian account. In the applicant account, applicants can initiate applications based on the instruction form. The instruction form contains a unique PIN. The PIN determines if an agency will be required to pay the registry fee or if the applicant will be required to pay the fee. To access these application forms, hover over Applications and select Application Forms from the navigation bar. You will then be brought to the Application Forms page. From the Agency Selection dropdown, select the agency for which the applicant is going to be associated to. If you only have one agency assigned to your Guardian user account, only one agency will populate here. Select Generate Form. The Generate Form Report Parameters box will populate. Based on your selection, Guardian will generate the instruction form with the unique PIN. There is one unique PIN to indicate an agency will make the payment, and there is another unique PIN to indicate an applicant will make the payment. Based on your selection, the applicant will be required to pay the fee during their application process, or the payment will reflect on your pending payments queue on the at-a-glance dashboard. Ensure you are providing the applicant with the correct PIN, as either the agency or the applicant will be required to pay based on your selection. Select Display Report once your selection has been made. The applicant instruction form will generate, which may be saved and emailed to the applicant or printed and provided. You will notice the applicant instruction form houses the agency's name, the unique agency PIN number, which again, this is a required field for the applicant to submit an application in Guardian. An applicant cannot submit an application for an agency without a unique PIN. The instruction form will also provide a link for the applicant to access their portal and instructions on how to register for an account. Once an applicant has successfully submitted an application utilizing the applicant instruction form, their application will appear in Eligibility Determination in Process. If you have provided the applicant with the unique PIN number for your agency to pay the registry fee, the fee will be added to your pending payments queue. This concludes the agency and applicant-initiated applications video for fee-paying TrustLine agencies. Additional training videos may be located at guardian.dss.ca.gov. Thank you for watching.